Mr. Holland, you might remember we spoke in Parliament earlier this year about a constituent of mine, Noor Aisha. She'd received a terminal diagnosis of bile duct cancer just after giving birth to her daughter back in February of 2023. She and her family and donors on GoFundMe had to raise money to fund a drug that had been approved by Health Canada but not recommended by the Canadian Drug Agency. It's a drug that cost $15,000 a month that extended her life. Sadly, Noor passed away about a month ago. The glimmer of hope is that the CDA is now in the midst of reconsidering its decision for a possible recommendation, as myself and more importantly, her own oncologist and other doctors had been calling for. But I'm sure, as you also know, the Canadian Cancer Society released a report this week that shows the average cancer patient in Canada is grappling with nearly $33,000 in costs over the course of their lifetime. I'm sure that saddens you the same way it does me. And so I wonder what you can do, even commit to, in terms of streamlining approvals and funding decisions to speed up access to cancer drugs.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. And I want to thank you for your advocacy on this, and to say that the Noor's case is deeply tragic and is something that lights a fire in us to do everything that we can for action. So 2 quick points. Health Canada, once it approves that a drug is going to be eligible for public reimbursement, it's then up to the provinces that make the decision about whether or not it is publicly reimbursed. So sorry, Health Canada approves it, then the provinces decide if it's eligible for reimbursement. The arm's length decision of the Canadian Drugs Agency is important. Obviously, we want those science-based decisions to not be influenced by politics. But the agreements that we're signing with drugs for rare diseases are so critical. I was so excited to sign the 3rd one in Alberta because it's a collective commitment to expand our action on drugs for rare diseases and to show a coordinated approach to these diseases. Because you take cancer and there's costs, and we got to do a much better job. But you know, it's pretty incredible in this country when you walk into the cancer ward of a hospital. You know, it used to be 30 years ago. I talked to a doctor there. When she started 30 years ago, the survival rate was only 30%. Today, it's 90%. And when I talk to those patients, in fact, I talked to one patient just talking about the experience of an American family member who they just got wiped out entirely, lost everything because of a cancer diagnosis. That's not our case here. It's still too expensive. We have to do better. But I think seeing people where they are and recognizing the urgency of the devastating thing this does to families, because look, it's bad enough to get a diagnosis, but then to wonder how the heck you're going to pay for your medication is just fundamentally unfair. So we got to go as fast and as far as we can. And thank you for the question.
Thank you.